and good morning and welcome to VSA Capital 5-Minute Morning Miner on Tuesday the 9th of December. Right, yesterday we failed to make a podcast. I apologise for that to all our regular listeners. A few little issues with our internet, but there you go. But there wasn't a lot of news yesterday. But today there actually is quite a lot of news. So we better get cracking, Paul.
Yes, that's right. You probably want to talk about this Tungsten West bridge facility, though.
Well, I have to be careful what I say because I am a convertible loan holder myself. I'm pretty involved in this whole company, although we're not advising on any part of it. I do know just about every party that is involved in it. All the parties looking at it in the future, they all talk to me. The only people who don't talk to me are the company, which is quite weird. You say what you think of it all, Paul.
Well, it's a bridge loan essentially that allows for the final determinations of how this thing will get financed to be passed through into the first quarter of 2026 is the bottom line. And it's a bridge loan from existing shareholders under existing commitments, and it also has agreed terms to allow full conversion of these 2023 convertible loan notes as well. So it's essentially buying time here until you can get the formal project finance essentially completed here.
Yeah, okay, well, that's sort of right. I mean, it is a bridge loan. It's a £4 million bridge loan. Quite expensive. It comes with a cost of £12 million in terms of 10% free shares. So it's pretty much very expensive bridge loan. But at the same time, everybody wants these convertibles converted. So I don't think anybody's going to object, even myself, believe it or not. People need to get the convertibles converted. We need to get the share capital structure right. The market this morning is obviously looking at it and going, hang on a second, that's an awful lot of shares coming out, 1.2 billion shares. What's left for equity shareholders? Now, clearly, if they were producing today, which unfortunately they're not, they would be making an awful lot of money because the tungsten price, as they correctly say in their announcement, is at $780. Now, they do say they think it'll stay over $650 for 11 years. I think that's a pretty bullish forecast, it has to be said, but I'm not going to make a comment on that. But anyway, look, it's progress because we're slowly but slowly getting things moving on. This has been rumbling on since June 2023. It's gone on far longer than it should have done, taken up far more money than it should have done. So let's just get everything converted and see where we all end up. That was me being quite polite, I think, actually. What do you reckon, Paul?
Yes, that's right.
Worth also just commenting today, if the Panthera warrants that have been holding the price back, this is basically the last day for conversion. So don't be surprised if Panthera goes for a little bit of a run now. The tap, should we say, warrant conversions is finished. It could go for a very nice run towards the end of the year. And of course, whilst on mining litigation cases, the other one that we've recently been appointed joint broker to is Emmerson. And I think that will be running strongly as well. Both of those are going to be very interesting in 2026. Talking of which, by the way, at some stage we're going to have to discuss how we did in 2025 with our stock picks, Paul. We won't do it today because quite a lot of news, other than to say that of the three of us that did it, that's yourself, Paul, myself, and Ollie, the loser of the performance lost with only 208% outperformance in the month, or up year to date, which shows how well the two lead contenders did. But we'll come on to that later when there's no news. Because there's quite a lot of news out today. Let's start with, actually, Pensana have just raised basically $100 million, haven't they, Paul?
Yeah, they've gotten a secured strategic investor to put in US $100 million into their story. Conditionally, 2.8 million new shares will be issued, and for $3 million at 80 pence per share. And the share capital, once it's realized here, will be then at 310 million shares outstanding. The 100 million strategic equity investment was arranged by a Nordic bank. So definitely moving along on the Longonjo mine development there in Angola for rare earths.
Yeah, the slightly strange bit is they don't actually name who's put the money in, which for such a large amount of money is rather unusual. It's clearly got some sort of US bias, though, because they talk about the whole US magnet supply chain. And actually, the stock is off 6p today, 6%. So clearly, the market sort of knew what was coming along and isn't actually that enthralled by what it's actually seen. But there you go. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Let's also talk about, there was a bit of an update from one that seems to be actually, I think is going pretty well at the moment, which is metals exploration.
Yes, Metals Exploration gave us an update on their progress on the construction now on the La India gold deposit down in Nicaragua, making generally pretty good progress from all the statements or individual things that they highlighted in the press release. So I won't go into too much detail on that, but simply to say that they are taking advantage of these higher gold prices, and the local community is definitely, or does appear to be definitely on side with the company in the build out at this point.
Yeah, I think they're doing a lot of the right things, MetalX, at the moment, as it's sometimes abbreviated to. So well done them. Okay, Paul, what else do you want to talk about?
Oh, quite a bit of little things I want to mention real quickly here. First, VSA client Myriad Uranium announced yesterday that they have now met the qualifying expenditure requirements to have earned into a 75% ownership interest in their Copper Mountain uranium project there in Wyoming. So the progress they've made with the fundraisings and so forth has been put to good use, both at local deposit scale, but also on a wider district scale in order to earn into this interest. So well done them, and the news will continue positive, I think, going forward for them. Also have news out from Green Rock Strategic Minerals, which is a Greenland graphite story that's quoted here in London. They have received their mining license on the Amitsoq deposit has been signed off by the Greenland government. Well, that clears the way then for the negotiations to take place, I would say, toward the bank and equity finance to build that mine. We also had news out as well from Ariana REsources, specifically on their Dokwe gold project down in Zimbabwe. They have uh, secured a Chinese investor to bring in $8 million into their story. That Chinese investor will do some of the metallurgical test work going forward in exchange for that interest in the project. And as such, we'll be lending some of the tech that the China side holds. I did happen to catch Ariana's presentation at Resourcing Tomorrow last week, and Ariana has some field exploration technology that they can also show the Chinese firm about as well.
Very good. Okay, well, that's probably enough today. Thank you for that, Paul, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Very good. See you then.
This podcast has been produced and edited by VSA Capital. It is intended for information purposes and not as investment advice. The information is intended for recipients who understand the risks associated with equity investments in smaller companies. Please do your own research and do not rely on a single source when making an investment decision. VSA Capital may derive fees from this content and seeks to do business with the companies mentioned.